Thank you, everybody, for coming out this beautiful day. Michelle here. And one of the reasons they asked me to step up and say something is I work at the campaign and I volunteer. I moved here about 2 years ago. And I moved here as a solicitation of my sister, who's lived in Albuquerque for about 13 years. And my son needed some additional care. He'd had some behavioral challenges, which I know Michelle wanting to take care of our health care, making sure mental health is taken care of and on point for our community, as well as educational, some delays. So I wanted to slow our life down a bit, and we came to Albuquerque. And one of the things I realized is being new in Albuquerque, the best way to figure out about a community is to volunteer. Be the hands and the feet and the fingers in the community to really get a better understanding of what's needed. When I got here, realizing Michelle's running for governor, I was realizing we have a great leader, we have a great head, but we also need the body and the community to come out, give an hour, give an afternoon. Make your Saturday morning a power walk when you're knocking on doors and canvassing. That's what I've sort of adapted to and been able to really get an understanding of what it is to be a member of this community and wanting to be able to turn it around. And knowing that Michelle has such a great passion for this state and a great passion for all of her citizens, it's been my pleasure to be able to come out and just encourage you to come and volunteer what you can. You know, it's a conscious decision to take some time out to really affect your community. And that's really what I do every day. I get the opportunity to volunteer, make a phone call, take an afternoon to canvass and walk. And a lot of times it's just sharing information. People may have already had their decisions made up, but you're just sharing information. Are you aware of the candidates? Are you aware of their platform? Do you know when early voting is? Do you know where your voting center is? Those are the things that I do when I do my phone banking, and I encourage all of you in your areas or where there is a headquarters to volunteer, ask, be involved, give that hour, give that afternoon. It really makes a difference. I've learned about so much more of Albuquerque and my neighboring communities that I just feel like had I not done this, I wouldn't know as much about Albuquerque and the support that this town and this state has for Michelle. And with that, Lujan, Grisham, our next governor.
That was fabulous. Thank you. I wish it was raining. I realize that's not usually how you start on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I got back from D.C. yesterday, and it's pouring. It's been pouring for a week, and all I can think about is how unfair is that to the Southwest. But I believe absolutely that we can address not just our water challenges, which are significant, that there isn't anything that this beautiful state can't accomplish or achieve. And that's been the whole campaign. Instead of hearing about how we're 50th and about all the things that we're challenged by, I want to talk about what motivates people to come here, to be here, to stay here, to fight for the things that make a difference. I just finished a forum in Santa Fe. We had a robust discussion about everything from healthcare to renewable energy to education. You know, New Mexico has led in many of these areas before. This is really about three things. One, federal government did absolutely nothing to protect poor states or to care about us from the 2008 recession on. Two, we have a governor with zero experience and didn't want to make it work. I mean, it's two issues, both very dangerous and have created a really terrible, I've never seen the lack of good, positive working relationships, investing in the things that will make a difference to every single family here. And it's because that's by design. All right, so we're gonna have a brand new design, which is to reinvest in New Mexicans. And I know it works. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story, and then let's talk about what we're gonna do for 2 weeks.
All right.
Actually, it's not 2 weeks, it's 6 months. I'm tricking you. I want you really working hard for 2 weeks, and then I want you working even harder for the general. But yesterday when I flew in, I was getting texts on the airplane. And I've been working with a patient who's in a rehab center, who's been in and out of the hospital, in and out of the hospital, in and out of the rehab center, not getting any of the comprehensive services that she needs. And here's how I got involved. A friend of hers called me in D.C. and said, my friend will die. She'll never go home. unless somebody does something. So I called the care plan, participated in that directly, and realized that she's not getting the right kind of care because it's the wrong kind of facility. And given what she needs, she has one chance to get this right. She walked in to this facility, but she can't walk out. All right, so I had to figure out a place for her. And in Albuquerque, that should not be hard. There's only one program here that will meet her needs. And guess what? Her insurance won't cover it. All right? So I took a leap of faith, which you got to be careful about, and said, we're going to that facility. We're going to correct these problems. You're going to thrive. You're going to go back home and go right back to being an able-bodied, dedicated Democrat and member of your community. And I'll worry about getting it covered. So we did that. We packed her up. We did our stuff. I made all the right, references and had all the right medical records. And they said, looks good. So I'm good. I'm done. And on the plane yesterday, they said, doesn't look good. And I have everyone in the insurance company. No one's talking to each other. So the very top is ignoring the appeals folks. They're making me appeal. One group is saying it's got to be one kind of a legal standard. Another group is saying something entirely different. The medical director says, I don't know which side to go with. So I want you to know that this is the kind of governor I will be. Who in the hell is in charge over there? And I want to talk to them right now. All right? Otherwise, I'm going to go over to their office or their house. Because here's what I have. I have a set of medical records as a non-clinician that I can read my own self that are very clear that your insurance company is going to participate in killing this woman who deserves your attention and your support. And we want it. So she's going where she needs to go. 8 o'clock last night, we won that. She's on her way actually right now. But here's the issue. It takes that kind of tenacity, particularly now. No one's talking to each other, right? Everybody's been siloed by this governor. We are all struggling in that environment. I see some of my really dear friends that have watched what happens when you take universities and make them political instruments, right? That all falls apart. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take back our state. We're going to be really clear that the governor and the legislature and elected leaders work for you. That every decision is about making sure that the quality of life for New Mexicans is improved. And I believe there's nothing we can't accomplish. And when you're knocking on doors, we have been first. I took over a little agency in 1991 and it was in trouble. The Agency on Aging, and they were going to stop all the federal funds to it. It couldn't deliver any services. The legislature was going to penalize that particular agency because we couldn't do anything. 14 years later, and it didn't take 14 years. It actually took 2 years. We were leading the country and we sustained it. For investments in senior programs, long-term care, respite care, quality of care, and long-term care facilities, every other state was coming here to see what we were doing and how we did it. Won't it be fantastic when everything we do, from renewable energy to education, that other states are coming here to see how we got it done? All right, so I believe in us, and you wouldn't be out here without any rain and a hot sun if you didn't believe that too. So we're asking you to do 2 things. We have 2 weeks. You guys don't seem that excited. Let me tell you, I am. Can I tell you how excited I am about 2 weeks? I'm excited. The best part is I get to be in New Mexico a little more, although I have to go to D.C. for 1 more week, which is why I really need you. So I'm fighting Trump, and I am, hey, I'm bringing Paul Ryan to his knees. That could the little teeny tiny congresswoman to his knees. Now it's still precarious because I'm in the minority, but I got 50 plus Republicans that have told the speaker they want to protect dreamers. They want a reasonable effort to do that, and they are not going to let him off the hook. All right? So it looks good. guarantee, but it looks really good. We're inching in the way that we should. So, while I finish that work this next week, will you do this for me? First, if you haven't already voted, for the love of God, march over and vote for me. Will you do that? 2, if you can take any more time this afternoon after you march over and vote, do you promise to try to give us a little time? Because I need a few more phone calls. Woohoo! We got one right here. That's it. All right, Monday, and I need to knock on doors. You know, we got to be on TV. I got to do all that work. This is when some campaigns should be ashamed of themselves, because this is when it gets interesting and negative. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay positive. We're going to stay strong. We have a productive message. We have a strong track record. We're working together. That's the secret sauce and the right message and the right stuff. But even so, the best thing you can do is talk to voters. It's the #1 thing.